2 years ago, in February 2023, Manchester City were hit with 115 charges by the Premier League. Allegations that span nearly a decade, encompassing various breaches of financial fair play rules, from failures to report finances honestly to secret payments and non-cooperation. Since the charges were made public, they've gone for a hearing, submitted evidence of fraudulent activities carried out by the club, and have shown the coy ways that the football giants have gone against the FFP rules. Yet so many months later, there's still no verdict. Why has it taken so long? What's at stake for the club and the league?
Manchester City and the Premier League have settled a dispute relating to the league's associated party transaction rules. So I've got Chief Correspondent Kaveh Solokol to join me on set to explain this. Kaveh, what has happened?
I mean, this is one of the most complicated stories I think we've covered here on Sky Sports News.
It's been over a year, 115 charges, and still silence. Manchester City, the new age kings of English football, are sitting under the heaviest cloud the Premier League has ever cast. A case that threatens to rewrite everything they've built. Every trophy, every record, every legacy moment under Pep Guardiola. Yet the world keeps spinning, the games keep playing, and the truth, whatever it is, waits buried in legal fog.
Premier League and the 20 years previous to that. If we look at that first City title there, which was basically 12 years ago, we've had 5 different winners of the Premier League, including Manchester City.
To most fans, the story has gone quiet, but the truth is, this isn't over. Far from it. Manchester City's dominance isn't just a football story, it's a revolution. A rebirth even of a club and a city. From being brandished as the noisy neighbors in 2008 by their city rivals, Manchester United, to now becoming one of the greatest sides the sport has ever seen in recent years. They've won 6 Premier League titles in 7 seasons and a treble in 2023, cementing their dominance of the game.
And they've done it! 7 years to fight with it.
But revolutions like this don't happen without money, a lot of it. And City's money came from a place only few people understood. When Sheikh Mansour bought the club in 2008 for a reported £210 million, he promised investment, transformation, and long-term success. All of which he has delivered on. The stadium and training facilities have been improved to world's best standards. Their scouting network revamped. The youth academy too was upscaled. Everything about Manchester City now became a symbol of ambition. Within a few years, they stopped chasing greatness. They were now greatness personified. But beneath that glittering empire was a question that wouldn't go away. A question that now one could provide a straight answer to. How was it all being funded? In February 2023, the Premier League's financial fair play arm dropped a bombshell accusation. 115 charges against Manchester City for alleged financial breaches spanning nearly a decade, from 2009 to 2018. Yeah, you heard that right. In 15 charges.
Breaking news, and the hearing over Manchester City's 115 Premier League charges will begin next week on Monday.
These weren't small administrative errors or oversights. They were fleshed out claims of hidden payments, falsified sponsorships, and undisclosed salaries. The Premier League alleged that City had artificially inflated their income in a bid to make their finances look cleaner than they really were and get around financial fair play regulations. It's the kind of thing that could destroy a club's credibility forever. But first, what does FFP actually mean? The financial fair play rules are a set of rules designed to stop clubs from spending more than they earned, to level the playing field, meaning that rich club owners could not just keep pumping money into their clubs, basically buying success. Rather, clubs could earn money from brand deals and sponsorships, as well as competition prize monies, and only spend that, limiting owner investment. At least that was the intention behind the rules, but in reality, it became a war between old money and new money. Traditional elites like Manchester United and Liverpool versus the oil-backed new giants like Manchester City and PSG, and City in many ways became the poster child for the new football order. They are modern, ruthless, and unapologetically rich.
So nobody can compete with City in that. No matter what it costs. No matter what it costs, you just do it. Liverpool, we cannot act like them. It's not possible.
The case brought forward by the Premier League's FFP arm argues that some of City's sponsorships weren't what they seemed. For instance, companies and brands from Abu Dhabi allegedly paid massive amounts of money for sponsorship deals to the citizens, but investigators claim that those funds were secretly being topped up by the club's owners. In simpler terms, City were no longer just earning more money. They were creating it on paper. And if proven true, that is basically fraud. City denied everything. They called the accusations entirely false and said they had irrefutable evidence to clear their name.
We won 11 titles in the last 5 years, being the 5th or 6th team spent net in the Premier League. So this is all I'm concerned what we have done so far.
But what's interesting is how quiet things have been since then. Unlike UEFA, which banned City from the Champions League in 2020 before the club successfully appealed the decision, the Premier League isn't bound by the same timelines. This investigation isn't being rushed. It's being buried under the weight of complexity and legal maneuvering. It's like a Cold War. Lawyers, accountants, and confidential documents locked away in offices across London. The roots of this scandal trace back to 2018, when German magazine Der Spiegel published leaked emails suggesting City executives discussed ways to disguise owner-funded payments as sponsorship income. The leaks, known as football leaks, contained thousands of internal emails and documents exposing the inner workings of Manchester City at the center of it all. The emails claimed that the club's owners had inflated sponsorship deals by using Abu Dhabi-linked companies to funnel money directly into the club while disguising it as legitimate commercial revenue or sponsorships. One email, allegedly from then City executive Simon Pearce, appeared to show that only £8 million of a £67.5 million sponsorship deal from Etihad actually came from the airline. The remaining £59.5 million, according to the leak, was supplemented by the Abu Dhabi United Group, who were City's owners. If true, that meant the club wasn't just spending big, but it was bending the rules to appear sustainable. UEFA's financial fair play system was supposed to prevent that exact thing: clubs spending more than they earn. Those leaks were the triggers of the aforementioned UEFA's investigation, which led to the 2-year Champions League ban that was later overturned by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, ruling that some of the evidence was time-barred or insufficient. That ruling now gave City the confidence to fight anyone, be it UEFA, the FA, or the Premier League body. And they have been fighting. Every word in the 115 charges presented will be debated, contested, and picked apart by some of the best lawyers money can buy. And while that battle goes on in the courtrooms, Pep Guardiola keeps winning on the pitch, with the team breaking new records. The treble run in 2023 that saw them win the Premier League, FA Cup, and Champions League should have been their crowning moment. Instead, it came with a shadow of scrutiny. Every time Pep lifted another trophy, critics asked the same question about their books. Opposition fans breathed murmurs of injustice. And the Premier League, which relies commercially on City's global appeal, keeps cashing in on the spectacle. It is like a strange and funny relationship between the accuser and accused, where they're both dependent on each other. Pep Guardiola, as always, has stood firm in his club's defense, once saying, "If you're accusing us, give us the opportunity to defend ourselves."
You know that attribute are a wealthy position. Just let you know, the last 5 years we are in the Spain net, the last one in the top 6. But in the last 3 years we are the last in the top 6 in the Spain net.
But that defense hasn't happened yet. The case, according to reports, might not be resolved until 2026. That's 3 years of uncertainty. 3 years where everything City do exists in a state of suspension. And here's the part no one likes to talk about. What happens if they're found guilty? The Premier League still doesn't have a set punishment for this scale of offense. They could simply dock points, as they have regularly threatened to. They could also be stripped off titles, get fined, or even expel them from the league entirely. It's that serious. But then there's the other possibility where we end up in a scenario where Manchester City are cleared of everything, that all 115 charges crumble under the weight of legal precision and the club walks away vindicated. Imagine that. The most dominant team of the modern era, proven innocent after years of being painted as financial cheats. That would be the ultimate power move. Either way, the outcome changes football forever. Because if City are guilty, it means the entire structure of elite football is a sham. And if they're innocent, it means the Premier League spent years trying to tear down its own champions without enough evidence to back it up. Football isn't just a sport anymore. It's an economy, a machine powered by billionaires, sponsors, and fans who crave glory. Manchester City became the perfect product of that machine, efficient, relentless, beautiful to watch. But now, that same machine is being questioned. If City's empire was built on false foundations, the sport's credibility collapses with it. But if they're clean, then maybe the rest of football has to admit something darker, that they've just been outsmarted. So we wait for the verdict, for the truth, because somewhere between the 115 charges and the 115 trophies lies the real story of Manchester City.